Hi students. So in the previous session we learned about the pairs of linear equations, exercise 4.1. In this session we will learn about the next exercises and the alternate methods of solving the pairs of linear equations. Okay. So what we have learned so far, a quick summary on what we have learned so far. So the pairs of linear equations, when the pairs of linear equations are given, we learn about the graphical method to solve the pairs of linear equations. So the linear equations can be of any of these three, like the intersecting lines or parallel lines or coincident lines. Intersecting lines are also called as consistent lines, and coincident lines is also called as dependent lines. So how we determine that? We determine using the ratio of the coefficients, that's a1 by a2, b1 by b2 and c1 by c2. If none of them are equal, then we can say they are intersecting lines. And if a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to the ratio of the constants, then they are parallel lines. And everything is equal, all the ratios like a1 by a2 equal to b1 by b2 equal to c1 by c2, then we call them as coincident lines or dependent lines. Okay. Now, so whatever we have learned using the graphical method may not be possible all the times. Why? Because let's say in the graphical method, whatever the intersection points that we have got, right? So they are all like integers, right? Like 2, 3. All the intersection points we got 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 8, minus 5, 4. Okay, they are all integers. Okay, if we have some irrational numbers, if the solution is a kind of irrational number, let's say root 2, root 3. This is the intersection point. How we solve that? So we are not able to get a solution using a graphical method. We may get, but it is not correct, not accurate. Okay. So when we have a solution in the form of integers, we can use the graphical method. But when we have some irregular numbers like irrational numbers or rational numbers, then we need to have an alternate method of resolving these linear equations. So one of such method, okay. So for the different methods, okay, to solve the linear equations, okay, the different methods we have is, one we learned, that's the graphical method, okay, and the other method we have is substitution method. Substitution method. And there is another method we will learn later, but I will just name it, okay. That is the elimination method. So there are three methods basically: the graphical method, substitution method and elimination method. So we will learn about what is a substitution method. What is the substitution method in solving the pairs of linear equations? By the name itself we can say like we are trying to substitute something to solve that problem. Okay. So let's understand. Okay, there are a few steps. What we can do is, so when we have the pairs of linear equations, what we can do is, step 1. We have x comma y, right? Two variables. So let's find y in terms of x. Okay, y in terms of x, and then step 2 is you substitute the value of y in any equation. There are two equations, right? So what you are trying to do is, from two equations, from equation 1 you will write y in the form of x. Okay, if x plus y equal to 1, you will write y as y equal to 1 minus x. So you are representing y in the form of x, and then you are substituting the value of y in the next equation. So that way y is represented in terms of x. That means when you substitute this into the equation 2, you you can solve x, because you are substituting the value of y in terms of x, so you will get the equation in terms of only x. So when you resolve that equation, you get the value of x. Once you get the value of x, you substitute that into any of the equation to get the value. So get x value and then substitute in any equation to get y value. Okay, so these are like 3-4 steps. In 3 to 4 steps you can resolve using the substitution method. So what you need to do is, first you need to represent y in the form of x, in terms of x, and then substitute the value of y in another equation, and that way you can have that equation in the form of x, and then simplify that equation, you get the value of x, and that value you can substitute in any of the two equations, you get the value of y. So let's take an example so you understand it better. Okay, so I am considering the example from your textbook, which is example 6. Okay, solve the given pair of equations using substitution method. Okay, 2x minus y, 2x minus y equal to 5, and 3x plus 2y equal to 11. Okay, 3x plus 2y equal to 11. So this is the pair of equations, and we need to solve it using the substitution method. So what is our step 1? Our step 1 is you take the equation 1, that is 2x minus y equal to 5. Represent y in terms of x. So what I will do is I will send these values that side. So that becomes y equal to 2x minus 5. Okay, I am taking y that side. So y becomes 2x minus 5. I am representing y in terms of x. So I am reversing it. So y equal to 2x minus 5. And now what is our step 2? Our step 2 is we need to substitute this value into the other equation. So this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So you need to substitute the value of y in equation 2. So what is our equation? 3x plus 2y. 3x plus 2y equal to 11. So x I will leave as it is, and 2 y I have 2x minus 5. So in place of y, what I will do is 2x minus 5, I will write like this, that becomes 11. So in place of y, I am using the value from equation 1, that is 2x minus 5. Now you simplify it. So this is 3x plus 2 into 2, 4x, 2 into 5 minus 10 equal to 11. So 3x plus 4x is 7x minus 10. I will send this minus 10 that side. That becomes 11 plus 10. So that becomes 7x equal to 21, and x equal to 21 by 7, which is equal to 3. So now I got the value of 3, and what is our step 4? Our step 4 is substitute the value of x in any of the equations. Let's substitute value of x in equation 1. You can substitute in any equation, you get the same answer. Equation 1 or 2, I am taking equation 1. So we already know what is y from our first equation, that is 2x minus 5. So what is the value of x? 3. 2 into 3 minus 5. 2 3 6, 6 minus 5. So this is 1. So y is 1. So the answer is x equal to 3, comma y equal to 1. This is the substitution method. So there are 4 steps in resolving the pair of linear equations using substitution method. So you get the pair of equations. That's it. In our case, 2x minus y equal to 5 and 3x plus 2y equal to 11. In the step 1, what you will do is take the first equation and represent y in terms of x. So that's what we did. So y become 2x minus 5. And then in the second step, you substitute the value of y into the other equation, which is equation 2. So our equation 2 is 3x plus 2y equal to 11. And in place of y, I am substituting the value of y from the first equation, that is 2x minus 5. And then I simplify, I am getting the value of 3. So when you have the value of x, you substitute that in any of the equation. So I am substituting in equation 1. So we already know y equal to 2x minus y from equation 1. So if I simplify that, I am getting the value of y. Okay. So now see how simple it is using the substitution method. In the graphical method, you need to first determine whether they are intersecting lines by comparing the ratios a1 by a2, b1 by b2, c1 by c2. And once they are intersecting, then you need to take the graph, substituting the value of x and get the value of y, and then form the coordinates x comma y, and you draw the line in the graph for both the lines, and the intersecting point you get is becoming the solution. Okay, but in the substitution method, it's very simple. Like you follow these 4 steps and you get to the answer of it. Okay, hope you are clear on the substitution method. So the simplest way to solve is the substitution method. So you need to follow these 4 steps. Okay, good. Now let me take you to the next things I have is yeah, there is some do this exercise. There are like 6 problems. Okay, so I can do any one of it if you want. Let me try to do from the do this exercise problem 6. Okay. And the remaining you can do as homework. Okay. Right. So using substitution method, from do this I am going to solve the problem 6. Okay. So that is, the equations are root 2x plus root 3y. Root 2x plus root 3y equal to 0. And then root 3x minus root 8y. Root 3x minus root 8y equal to 0. So 2 equations are given. So let's follow our substitution method. So in step 1, what I need to take is, take the equation 1, that is root 2x plus root 3y equal to 0. And then represent y in the form of x. Then what I can do is root 3y equal to minus root 2x, and then y becomes minus root 2 by root 3x. Okay, so that is what I am getting the value of y. Now step 2. What is our step 2? We substitute the value of y in the equation 2. So what is equation 2? Root 3x minus root 8y equal to 0. And I can write this as root 3x minus root 8 into, what is root y? Root y is minus root 2, sorry, what is y? I am going to substitute the value of y, this equation, in terms of x, that is, this becomes 0, right? Root 3x minus root 8 into minus root 2 by root 3 into x. I am representing the value of y in the brackets. Okay. So if I further simplify this, root 3x minus into minus becomes plus. Then root 8 into root 2 by root 3 into x. That is equal to 0. Now root 8 into root 2. Root 8 into root b is root ab. So root 8 into root 2 is 8 into 2 under root, that is root 16. So now root 3 is root 3x plus root 16x by root 3 equal to 0. So what is root 16? It's 4, right? So this becomes root 3x plus 4x by root 3, that becomes 0. Under root 3, if I take the LCM here, so it becomes root 3 as the LCM, and this becomes root 3 times root 3 into root 3, that becomes 3x, plus root 3 goes one time, that is 4x. That becomes 0. So 7x by root 3. Okay. From here, it is becoming 7x by root 3 equal to 0. So that case, 7x is 0 and x is becoming 0. Okay. The value of x is 0. Now, you find the value of y. If x is 0 from the equation 1, so that is right. What is our next step? And substitute the value of x. Substitute the value of x equal to 0 in equation 1. So our equation is y equal to root minus root 2 by root 3 into x. So when x is 0, 0 into anything is 0, so y is also 0. Okay. So for these equations, the intersection point is the origin, which is 0 comma 0. Okay. Let's verify once again. Have we done it wrong? Have we done it right? Okay. So root 3y is minus root 2x and y is minus root 2 by root 3x. Okay. Right. And now I am substituting in root 3x minus root 8 into minus root 2 by root 3 into x, that is become root 16, which is 4. So 7x. So everything goes that side. So that becomes 0. So x is 0 and y is 0. Yeah. Okay. So this is how you can follow the substitution method. So don't get afraid of what is given, like root 2, root 3. They are all just coefficients of x and y. And you know what to do and how to solve using the substitution method. So you just follow the steps. First you write y in terms of x and substitute into the other equation. Then you get the value of x, and that value of x you substitute into the first equation or second equation. You get the value of y. Okay. So this is how you do using the substitution method. Now the other method we will learn in the do this exercise. There are other 5 problems. 5 pairs of linear equations that you can solve. Okay, that you do as a homework. Okay. So under substitution method, from the do this exercise, you do the other 5 problems as homework. And now I will go to the next method, which is elimination method. Okay, we just done, right? What are the different methods to solve? So one of the other method is elimination method. So in total we have 3 methods: graphical method, and substitution method, and elimination method. And this is the last method. We already learned what is graphical method and what is substitution method. And now we will learn what is elimination method. So elimination method, by the name itself, it says like you need to eliminate something. So we have 2 variables, right? In the pairs of linear equations, we have x and y. So what you need to do is you need to eliminate one variable. Okay, let's eliminate x. You find the value of y, and then substitute that value of y into any of the equation. You get the value of x. Okay, then we'll take it through some steps. Okay, the steps is the first step. Okay, the step 1 is you need to write the linear equation in the form of ax plus by equal to c. Okay, so what are the standard form of linear equations? We already know: a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0, a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0. Now what we are asking is, what this method requires is you write the equation in the form of ax plus by equal to c. Okay, you see that side. So both the equations you need to write in the form of ax plus by equal to c. Then what is step 2? In step 2, what you do is make the coefficients of one of the variables, say x, numerically equal by multiplying each equation by suitable real number. So the coefficient of x, which is a, right? The coefficient of x, that is a, in both the equations you need to make it equal. Let's say 5x and 3x. 5x from equation 1 and 3x from other equation. You multiply with some factor and make it equal, like 15x. Okay, if you multiply by 3 and multiply by 5, you will get 15x, right? So that's how we need to make the coefficients in both the equations as equal by multiplying the entire equation with some multiplication factor. So that means by step 2 you are going to have the same coefficient for both the equations for x. Now in step 3, what you in step 3 will do is you subtract that equations. Okay, now you have from step 2 you have the coefficients of x are equal in both the equations, and now you subtract the equation 1 minus equation 2. Equation 1 minus equation 2. Okay, if that means you will get the value of x gets cancelled. If you subtract the same values of x, you get the x cancelled, then you find the value of y. Okay, and step 4, solve the equation for remaining variable. Okay, now you find while you subtract that, right, you can find the value of y or remaining. Remaining is y only, right, because we are taking the coefficient of x are equal, so the remaining is y. So find the value of y. Okay, you will get some value to y, and in the step 5 you substitute the value of y and get the value of x. Okay, so 5 steps involved here. So first you need to write the given equations in the form of x plus by equal to c, and then equate the coefficients by multiplying both the lines with a proper multiplication factor. So the entire line gets multiplied, and at the end of the step 2 you get both the lines with the same coefficient of x, and then subtract both the equations, equation 1 minus equation 2, and then you get what is y. Y is you get the value of y, and then you substitute that value of y into x, y into any of the equation, you get the value of x. Okay, now let's do this through some example, and you can understand it better. Okay, so let's consider an example. So I'm taking the example from your textbook, which is example 7. So the example 7 is the two pairs of linear equations given: 3x plus 2y, 3x plus 2y equal to 11, and 2x plus 3y equal to 4. 2x plus 3y equal to 4. So a pair of linear equation is given, which is example 7. 3x plus 2y equal to 11 and 2x plus 3y equal to 4. Now you follow the elimination method. So we know what is step 1. Step 1, we need to write these equations in the form of x plus by equal to c. However, our problem, the given problem itself, is in the form of x plus by equal to c. So no changes here. So 3x plus 2y becomes 11, and 2x plus 3y equal to 4. So step 1 is that. Now in our step 2, what we wanted to do is multiply these lines with a suitable multiplication factor, so that both the coefficients become equal. So I have 3, 2. Okay. So in general case, what happens is you multiply the first line with the coefficient of second line, the coefficient of second x, coefficient of x from second line, and multiply the second line with the coefficient of x from first line. Okay. So what I will do is 3x plus 2y equal to 11, that's equation 1, multiply this with 2, which is the coefficient from the other equation. And similarly, 2x plus 3y equal to 4, which is equation 2, multiply this with the coefficient from first equation, which is 3. Why? Because 2 into 3, this becomes a 6x, 2x into 3, that also becomes 6x. That is our objective, right? In step 2, we need to make the coefficient of x as equal. So now 3x plus 2y equal to 11 and 2x plus 3y equal to 4. Now multiply this with 2. So this equation becomes 6x plus 2 into 2, 4y equal to 11 into 2 is 22. So this is equation 1. And then look at this. 6x plus 9y, that equal to 12. Okay, I am multiplying this with 3. So this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Now we need to, what is our step 3? In step 3 we need to subtract these equations. So equation 1 minus equation 2. So this subtraction I think you would have learned in your earlier classes. So the first equation is 6x plus 4y, that is 22, and the next equation is 6x plus 9y, that is 12. Okay, so subtracting. So when you subtracting, this becomes the negative sign. So you just need to apply the opposite signs for the second equation. That is this for 6x it becomes minus, and this also becomes minus, and this also becomes minus. So 6x get cancelled. Then 4y minus 9y, that is minus 5y. Minus 5y becomes 22 minus 12, which is 10. Then y becomes 10y minus 5, that is minus 2. Okay, so you got the value of y, which is minus 2. And now what is our next step? Okay, so our next step is you need to substitute that value of y into any of the equation to get the value of x. Okay, so now I got the value of y as minus 2. Now our step 4 or 5. Okay, here you need to write the equation is step 3, and then finding the value is step 4, and then finding the value of x is step 5. So I am taking this as step 4. Okay, so our first equation, so take equation 1. The equation 1 is 3x plus 2y equal to 11, and you need to substitute the value of y, which is minus 2. So 3x plus 2 into minus 2 becomes 11. So that becomes 3x minus 4 equal to 11. Then 3x becomes 11 plus 4, which is 15. Then 3x becomes 15. Then x becomes 15 by 3, that equal to 5. So the answer for this is x equal to 5 and y equal to minus 2. If you want to verify, you can substitute the answers in the other equation and you can verify. Let's do that. So x is 5. What is the second equation? 2x plus 3y equal to 4, right? X equal to 5 means 2 into 5 is 10 plus, minus 2, right? 3 into 2 is minus 6, 10 minus 6, 4, right? So that way you can verify whether the answer you have got is correct or not. Okay, this is how you need to do using the elimination method. So very simple. In the elimination method, first you need to write the equation in the form of x plus by equal to c, which is already there. And then you need to multiply both the equations in such a way that the coefficients of x should become equal. So the coefficient of x, how it can become equal is, generally you need to multiply the equation 1 with the coefficient of second equation of x from x, and the second equation by multiplying the coefficient of x from first equation. So that way they become equal. So multiply throughout, okay, not just x, throughout equation. So if you are multiplying with 2, this becomes 2 into 3 6x, 2 into 2 4y, and 2 into 11 22. Okay, similarly you are multiplying this with 3. So I multiply the entire equation. 3 into 2 is 6x, 3 into 3 is 9y, and 3 into 4 is 12. Okay, now you subtract. Subtracting, you know it, right? So when you are subtracting, the signs becomes opposite for the second line. So here for 6x it is plus, so I have included minus. And for 9y this is plus, it is minus. If it is minus already, then it becomes plus. Okay, when you are subtracting, the whatever the signs you have, that becomes opposite. Okay, so minus 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 here. Okay, so when you subtract that, you get minus 5y equal to 10, y is minus 2. That y value you can substitute in any of the equation 1 or 2. So I have taken equation 1. So if you substitute that, you get the value of x, which is 5. So 5 comma minus 2 is the answer for this pair of linear equations. Okay, so with this, we have learned all the methods. We have learned all the methods of solving the pairs of linear equations. The first method was the graphical method, and then the second one was the substitution method, and now the elimination method. So in the elimination method, there is a do this exercise. So in this do this exercise, you have 3 problems, 3 pairs of linear equations. You can solve using the elimination method. Okay. In the exam, they will clearly tell you need to solve by using what method. Okay. So if they say graphical method, you go the first way of solving it using the graph. And if they ask you for substitution method, you follow the second way of solving it. And if they ask for the elimination method, you follow this method. method. Okay. Now what we can do is, this is same as the earlier method. So now, till now, you have given the pairs of linear equations directly. Okay. Now, in the graphical method also we learned that you will get some descriptive, and then that descriptive you need to translate into equations, and then you can solve the equations, right? So we will learn, like if a description is given, how to translate that and write it into an equation form, and once the equations are there, then you can solve using either elimination method or substitution method. So that we will learn in the next section. Okay, thank you.